Today I have something special for you. The boarded up drug house that I walked through on March 31st, 2019 was flipped. Yeah, it's a mere 7 months later, but hey, now we get to go through the opportunity of, well, walking through this property before, and then after, and you get to deal with me making comments along the way.
I just got a text from another client. They drove by this open house, and when they saw the boarded up windows, they U-turned. That is literally why people get wedge deals on single family. This particular neighborhood is known for some foundation issues. There's like a fault line that kind of runs around.
I mean the presentation, when that scares people away, that's how you get the good deals.
One of those houses affected by it, or what's the scoop with this? Obviously, everything's boarded up, so it's like your classic wholesale deal?
Now, wholesaling typically means one of two things. One, you pick up something at wholesale pricing, kind of like Costco, and then you flip it. Or you buy something and then you sell it to a flipper without ever actually doing any work to the property. A property with a yard sale this beautiful qualifies.
This reminds
Never heard anyone I know do that.
In Florida, when everything gets boarded up and we get the hurricane shutters out, like the metal corrugated, or a lot of people do plywood. But if this were going to be turned into a rental property, you probably do well to lightly sand these, paint them up, and you're good. That's what the pro would do. The noob would probably come in here and go, I gotta open up the wall, I gotta pull permits, I gotta spend 50 grand on the kitchen. Big mistake. I mean, if you're gonna flip it, maybe you'd want to do something like that, but.
I wonder if that's foreshadowing, because we know this is going to be a flip and we know we're about to see the after video. Ooh, what's over here? Ooh, a bedroom with 2 wheels. Ooh, what's this? A 2-prong outlet? I wonder if that ever comes up in the real estate investing course.
This comes up a lot in our real estate investing course. Most noobs will look at something like that and they'll say, oh, it means I have to rewire the entire house. This is horrible. It's going to cost me 10 grand to pull new wires, and then it's going to cost me another 5 to fix all the drywall and the walls and the holes we made.
But that's for a different video. Right now, we have things to explore.
Oh, so he's trying to hook you into his course there? Not giving you the info. He's like, this shows up a lot in my course.
The good news is,
if you buy this house, you get to keep everything.
Like, what's the slow-mo right here?
Oh, I wonder what we're talking about over here. Maybe some seafoam blue tile.
The seafoam kind of blue. And very common, so a little bit of an issue that it looks like the actual entire shower basin has basically settled down. I mean, this is a lot. That's a big separation right there.
Meanwhile, Kevin's inches away from a puddle of blood.
Look at what plumbing...
A puddle of blood?
That's a mistake.
My assumption it's all going to be original. It's galvanized, the old stuff. Not your typical kind of drywall wall. This is going to be a lath and plastered kind of wall. You can tell by the plaster, which is kind of like concrete being here. Here's another bedroom.
What?
So just sort of your basic other bedroom, some crack.
I love how he knows every single detail on what it means. He really knows his stuff.
4 bedrooms. You got 1 bedroom all the way on that side with access to its own 3/4 bath. Then you got this full bath right here, which we'll go in a sec. Down this way, we have the original furnace, the original Lennox furnace. The pilot light is still on. So this is a red tag from the gas company. Be the change you want to see in the world. Whoa. This is on the room that has clearly been fortified. And it's got some kind of makeshift bed and angry paint markings on the wall.
He said this was a drug house? So that was fortified because it had drugs? Is that what he's saying? Oh my god.
Oh, but hey.
No one cleaned up the house before they're showing it?
Oh, look, another bathroom. A million things to look at in here. Of course, what does Kevin look at again?
Oh, that's a cool faceplate for an outlet. Look at that.
Oh my god. No one even took the pop cans away?
Plumbing issues in the past. So if you come around here, oh, and maybe a little bit of roof issue over on this side. So when we walk the outside, we'll want to remember to check the corner over here just to see the condition of the roof. But this is what happens when you have to replace the plumbing from...
How much does this cost to fix, though?
To kind of replace the diverter valve. The problem is whoever did the work right here didn't really secure it very well to the left and right. And so look what happened. When they screwed this in to probably the studs or whatever, they actually pulled all the tiling in with it. This is pretty cool. This is a tiled-in medicine cabinet.
Gee, I wonder what we might possibly find in Mr. RG's room.
Look, I found a silver spoon. It's for some reason a little charred on the bottom,
but
it is a silver spoon.
Why is he holding this silver spoon?
I'm about to show you the.
Oh my god. He's joking about it being charred at the bottom? Bro, that is a dirty spoon. What?
Trapped on a fishing line. You got caught, man. Oh, you got hooked.
Hooks! The hooks!
And vines, literally growing on the inside of the house.
Now you know you have two problems
Oh
when a
my.
vine is growing through a window, yet nobody is removing it.
Yeah, so in a situation like this, usually when a house is in this kind of condition, whoever owned it probably rented this house out over time to multiple different people. So you probably had, 4 different people living in this house. Maybe you even had somebody living in the living room. And then what ultimately happens is the owner passes away, and the people just squat basically until they get kicked out. These people who were living here probably lived rent-free for somewhere in the neighborhood of a year to 2 years.
Whoa.
And then they probably got evicted by the sheriff. The public administrator comes in and says, okay, we're going to sell this house and we'll donate the money, or we'll use it for public administration funds, or whatever. I don't know what happens with that stuff. But yeah, I mean, in a situation like this, this is probably the classic case where the people that were occupants were like, we're getting evicted, this is so terrible. Meanwhile, they just lived rent-free for a year or two. This is all about perspective, right? I actually didn't see that many foundation issues as I thought I would see.
Now, this is the point where I sit down in the car, pull up a spreadsheet, and start evaluating whether or not I want to buy the property, what I would want to offer, how much I think it would cost to fix it up, and how I would fix it up. Which this is also a good point in the video right before we reveal the after to introduce a message from our sponsor.
Ooh.
If you want to take your real estate investing skills to the next level,
Is he his own
check out
sponsor?
the link below for the online real estate investing course with
Yeah.
private live streams to help you analyze your deal, and the
Love that.
in-person investing crash courses like San Francisco coming up on November 16th and Vegas on 2/2020. Now, the crazy thing about the after footage is when I did my after
Whoa.
walkthrough, I had no idea I had the before footage still sitting on a hard drive from March.
Today we're going to analyze this flip that was bought for $505,000 and is for sale
That
for
is
$695,000. Let's take a peek.
Wait,
Let's
wait,
see
wait,
what
wait.
they did and didn't do. First things first, I notice when I walk up, it looks to me like the roof is still the original roof. That does not look like a newly replaced roof. Now it does look like these windows are newer, which is nice.
Whoa!
Honestly, this is a big transformation
Wow.
though from what this was. This is such a different appeal.
It looks like a good house.
Aha. So first impression, really like this door, but you can see that it wasn't fully painted here, and they left the old jamb.
See, this is where you have to ask yourself, how much more would it have really cost
like-
to do a correct frame on the front door?
Not
In my
that
opinion,
much.
that's cheaping out in the wrong place.
Come on.
Now this flooring's not bad. I'd say this flooring's probably somewhere around a $3 per square foot laminate. It doesn't appear to be a hardwood. It looks like a laminate, and it looks like they used a flat on the baseboard, which is a little bit of a newbie mistake because they get dirty pretty quickly.
Now, this kitchen was obviously totally remodeled, and at the time of the initial walkthrough, I had no idea this was going to be a flip, but obviously it was a flip, and sure enough, what did they do? They opened up the wall, as I predicted a flipper would do. Fortunately, these people actually got permits for doing that, unlike most flippers, who just do it and pretend the wall was never there in the first place.
They put the
So insane how much Kevin knows about stocks, politics, real estate, laws. Like you think this man was a lawyer?
house. You could see here
The way he
4x4
talks about
posts, 4x4 posts.
copyright
This is
infringement.
great. Super nice countertop. The seam could have been done a little bit better,
keeping
but
stuff
you
to
know
code.
what?
This is where the flipper should really
Gosh.
be coming back and keeping up on the grout and
Such a
stealing
great guy.
things.
Nice countertop. Really like that they went with the black style sink. Problem
yeah.
though, they're starting to get kind of this separation here on the countertop as the kitchen settles anew again. Backyard looks really great. I like what they did. I just think they made a classic mistake by not putting some kind of separate hedge here to block from the neighbor.
You know, simple things can make a huge difference.
Roof definitely needs a little bit of love, and there is a missing chimney cap.
To me, the chimney cap is just so obvious.
Yeah,
a lot
just
of people
fix
who
that.
know, they just look at a chimney cap and they go, come on, it's $120. It's not that hard.
Like,
Now this is pretty pro. They've obviously had a professional electrician come in and do this because almost every single breaker that's here is an AFCI or an arc fault breaker, which is excellent.
if $120 to fix that chimney is gonna mess up your profit, then your profit's already messed up. Like if you're only making $120 from this flip and buying that $120 chimney thing is gonna like put you in the negative, you're already negative. Like you have to realize that with closing costs and everything, you can't cut it that close. It's not worth all this work to make $120 off an entire flip. Like just spend the money.
The painter used semi-gloss. This is like an eggshell or maybe a satin. Much nicer for the stone, really nice. Not a big fan though of some of the leftover kind of rot in the corner here.
Not a fan of the rot.
Now, I really like how they finished this fireplace. I like the white painted stone. I love this custom-made mantle box they put here with this sort of veneer over it,
Yeah,
dark
looks cute.
stain. Really nice touch. But I think they missed a big opportunity by not fire painting the inside of this block black. It looks so much better to have this all painted black, and then you get that
Another
really
easy
nice
thing.
contrast. So maybe I'll help them out a little bit here, and we'll just close the gate a little bit. Well, they painted the key black, though. That's cool.
Surprising how much black paint can change things.
Yeah.
Now, remember, when you go through properties like this, you can get enchanted by the staging, but remember, you don't get the staging. What you want to look for are things like no ceiling fan, but they did add 4 can lights, which is nice. This house does not have air conditioning, though, so I think it was a mistake not to go with ceiling fans.
Which, recall, they did have 2 ceiling fans previously.
Why would they get rid of those?
Of the 6-panel door. I think the 6-panel door is a little bit 2003, and the paint job on the doors is a little on the rough side.
A little bit. 2003. Come on, Kevin. Be nice.
I'm honestly shocked they chose to leave the original furnace. I mean, a lot of flippers will do that because they'll just say, oh, well, I'll just credit somebody during escrow, but it just doesn't send a good signal that, you know, all the new electrical and the windows that you just did, kind of with the old roof and this original furnace and this old red tag that's still here, just doesn't send a good message.
You know, it's one thing to leave a roof that's pretty decent. It's another to leave the furnace that's so in your face. It's literally right there at eye level behind the closet every buyer is going to open.
Yeah, the plumber who set this either forgot to put the silicone around the tub spout or didn't set it properly, but you've got some regular grout cracking, which again, you're gonna see on these structural remodels.
I just would not notice that. If I looked at that bathroom the whole day, I would not notice that about the bath.
Impressed though, this is a pretty pro move. They got 2 fully functional drawers in here, which I know you might be thinking to yourself, Kevin, why is that impressive? Well, it's impressive because most people will cut out the middle drawer to leave room for the plumbing, but look how flush they did the plumbing work.
And see, this vanity is pretty nice, yet it's going to go unnoticed by most buyers.
The attention to
Don't realize
detail.
the extra work that went into that plumbing.
Ooh, this is a nice window. Honestly, this is an expensive kind of window. They spent money, honestly, on the things they did. They spent money to have a nice window like this, that sort of wheels open. They did not cheap out on the things they did. Obviously, I would inspect the foundation work, but the things they did, I think they did well. This one's tiling's not as great as the other one. We've got a few lips, and you can kind of really see that from a distance. Doesn't look as good as it could be, but still a good design. I don't think most people would notice.
I would not notice. I would notice that little weird crack right there,
For
though.
what it is, this isn't bad. If I was looking to buy this and I had a new roof and a furnace in this, I'd be pretty satisfied. You know, I'd probably paint the garage just because it's a little meh, but not that big of a deal. You know, you've kind of got the original cracks in the concrete here, which this neighborhood is known for a little bit more settling than others. So, you know, to me, the most shocking things on this one are not doing the roof and the furnace. Other than that, I think this is a great house. I get why they didn't do the roof or furnace, but honestly, for a flip, I think it sends really bad signals to buyers, because buyers, if they're gonna buy something that's remodeled and structurally done, they're gonna want it done. My POV, maybe they're planning on crediting it during escrow, but you know what? Otherwise, I'm gonna rate this one an A. Not gonna give it an A+, but definitely an A for the work they did. And check out the cat hanging out. Maybe the cat comes with